Okay, and I want your phone as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, hello.
Oh, it's close. Let's go back a bit.
Yeah, go the other side of the table. And have you got your phone? I think I put it there. Cool. I'm just going to set up the Instagram one.
You're going to have it going next to it.
Yeah. It's weird not being able to hear anyone, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like, it's not actually a Zoom call.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a one way.
Yeah. How do you go live on this? Live, there we go. Okay.
What's this board doing up here?
Oh,
There's a board.
there we go. Oh, you can kind of see us.
That's good enough.
Okay.
Oh, you should have been.
That's full and overflowing.
Just hide that and pretend it doesn't.
You can't on the Instagram one. You can just see it on the YouTube one. Oh, that's funny.
What else can you see over there?
Okay, so most people are joining on Instagram, which is cool. Hello. I'll just put it over here. I have to kind of squidge in. So we've got hundreds of questions that you asked, which is pretty cool. So we're obviously not going to answer all of them. We're just going to kind of pick out a couple.
There's probably some repeats in there, aren't there?
Yeah, that lots of people want to know about, like,
similar things,
cost of things, how to build and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just go for it. Oh, shall I pick the first one?
Yeah, you go first.
Hagen says hello. We know you're only here for Hagen anyway.
Hagen, pick the second one. You can pick the second one. Okay.
Okay, second question. Okay. What are our plans for when the build is complete?
I'd say that changes every couple of days.
Yeah.
Every time we see another bit of land for sale, every time we see a cool building, every time we speak to someone different, then our plans change. But at the moment, the kind of rough idea is to rent this house out through the summers, because we can get quite good money in this location because it's a good holiday location. We'll rent it out through the summers and either travel or do other projects through that time. But we don't really know.
We don't know
because it changes all the time. We can't give you a for sure answer.
Yeah, it makes sense that we rent it out in the summer because we can practically pay our whole year's mortgage, like, just by doing that in a 6 weeks holiday. So that's kind of makes sense. But some of the ideas we've had after building the house,
go by boat.
Yeah, going to sail around the world and learning how to be crew for someone is something that we really, really, really want to do. Building another project every time we see like a random shed or a barn somewhere, we kind of
I could convert that.
Yeah, we just
I could make that into a house.
Dream up another project. We've barely visited around Cornwall, have we?
Yeah, so yeah, we should do that. But then if we're renting this house out in the summer, that's the worst time to travel Cornwall for us because it's going to be rammed, busy, crazy.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know, basically.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I wouldn't mind having a campsite-y style thing.
Yeah.
I'd quite enjoy that as a next project with some, I don't know, wooden shacks and pods and things on it.
That'd be cool.
That interests me a lot.
So yeah, we don't know. We've got too many ideas. Also, I wonder if they meant what are your plans when the build is complete for like work?
For me?
Yeah. Because that's your main job.
Yeah, good point. So the toys, carrying on growing the wooden toy business, that's going really well. I just don't have enough time at the moment to fully go for it on that one. So once I'm not doing the house, that will be probably most of my time. I'm also getting lots of offers all the time just for construction work locally, so I could jump back into being a builder very quickly.
Ideally, you want whatever makes you have the most time to surf. Yeah,
pretty much. Whatever I'll do will have to be very free hours.
flexible.
Well, flexible hours, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours would be great, but flexible hours is more realistic. Yeah. What about, I suppose you'll be doing a similar thing, won't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Toys
We
and
like working flexible.
and
Yeah, I'd love
sport.
to do the toys full time. I would love to do that. Okay. Is there anything you find difficult about living in Cornwall? I should probably say who these ones are from.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that
do
last
that.
one was from Seb Palmer, who used to own Hagen. And this one is from Our Atlantic Roots, and is there anything you find difficult about living in Cornwall?
At the moment, the only thing is Corona based and Caravan based.
And
I've
weather
got no
based.
Yeah, but that I'd say that is made worse by the fact we live in a leaky, windy caravan,
Old caravan.
in a time when we can't go to other people's houses.
Yeah, that's true.
So the it's not even really difficulties.
No.
Slight discomforts.
Yeah.
We're in no position to complain. The slight discomforts don't come from Cornwall. They come from two other variables.
I thought I'd struggle with with like living far away from like convenient things like supermarkets and just like general town kind of people. But actually, it's fine. I've gotten used to driving half an hour to the supermarket, which seemed crazy when we lived back in Essex, didn't it? When we looked up where everything was, but actually, you get used to it really, really quickly. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's too much difficult.
No.
Okay. Somebody else. Okay, this is from one of our Patreons, Bronya. What would you do differently with the house build now you've surpassed certain like areas? Is there anything that we'd already do differently?
Not in this location.
Yeah.
If I was to build another house from scratch, I'd do it from a different construction type.
Like wood.
And a very different style. This was very conservative, like
standard,
in keeping with the area, because that's what our planning stipulated it had to be. I would much rather have a house buried in the ground with like a full face of glass to it. Do you know what I mean? So it's all grass covered, looks like a field from the back, and then the house is buried in a slope, something like that, or something really modern. Getting comfy. But in this plot, there's not much. There wasn't too much we could change. We'd already made a lot of the changes, like on paper, before starting.
Yeah, they were really strict, weren't they? So we had to obviously use the blockwork. So that came up again on another question as well. I can't remember who asked it, but they were surprised that we weren't building something more eco-friendly.
Well, they asked if we were using, I forgot what they call it, but they're concrete formwork, insulated concrete formwork. I just don't know anything about that form of construction. It's nothing I have dealt with before. And when this was set as when this was, what's the word I'm looking for? When this style was on the drawings, I was like, yeah, great, because
you've done it before.
I've done it. It's what I've done, many extensions and buildings.
Yeah, this is our first project, isn't it? So we just felt like way more comfortable doing using materials that Jim's already used before. Like, you're doing it on your own, so taking on a huge underground eco project, like with, I don't know, moss roofs and stuff, just terrified us, because already we're doing something so out there and seemingly impossible, doing it by yourself, let alone if it's also something that you've never done before. Which kind of brings us on to that this probably isn't going to be our last project. No,
is that one of the questions?
Yeah, I mean, loads of people have said, like, it seems like this is this your forever home? It seems like you've still got ideas for more projects.
Always got more
Yeah.
ideas.
I'd love to be able to afford to keep this house because it's really cool. It's really nice, isn't it? And how lovely to.
It's solid. It's
and it's
well
such a
built.
lovely house.
Not
It's
going
so
anywhere.
beautiful. But I don't think it's forever home for sure.
Well, what you said the other day was it's not our forever home. It might be our last home.
Yeah.
As in, we would quite like to keep hold of it as an asset and maybe move back to this one.
Like when we're old and grey.
Yeah, especially if we go off and do something different after this. Like if we go off and travel and do something again, it'd be nice to come back to this.
Yeah.
But
when we want a bit of more stable living,
low maintenance, easy, low bills.
Yeah. And we should own it outright by then as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Rebecca Kiff, one of our really good friends from school, asked, do you have a budget? If so, how easy has it been to stick to it? Have there been any unexpected costs? Jim, do we have a budget?
Yes and no.
No, we have never looked at. We've never budgeted for anything. Like we've never worked it all out.
I did.
We have never worked.
I worked it all out roughly right at the very beginning, but I mean very, very roughly.
Very roughly, like per square meter. You talking about like roughly what it should be? No,
I sat down and worked out the meterage of everything. I did. I spent a long time doing this. Roughly what we always say, about as much as we paid for the land.
Okay. We can say, I'm happy to say.
So we bought the land for 120 plus a few fees and things. And then I think it's going to be about the same again. So, or maybe a bit more, 120 to 140-ish.
200.
So all in, that would be 240 to 260.
Yeah.
But we didn't have all of that money. We had enough to buy the land and to do the first chunk. I think I got nearly up to first floor level before we ran out. Then we've been taking small loans, which we will then repay in the form of getting a normal mortgage once it's mortgageable. So the issue at the moment is you can't get a standard mortgage on a normal house, on an unfinished house. It has to be signed off, building regs, certificates, planning's completed, all of those things have to be done before you can get a standard mortgage. So there are other bridging loans and things like that you can do. You just pay high fees and high interest rates on all of those. So we've been lucky to.
So basically our budget is whatever we can afford for the next stage to be, don't we? So we've kind of been trying to keep afloat of about £10,000, and it's been like going down, and then we've borrowed a bit and going down and borrowed a bit, and that's just kind of how we've gone. So if it costs way more than we think, it just means that it will take more time before we finish it.
Yeah.
Basically, is kind of how we're doing it. It costs what it costs, and we're making the choices, the expensive choices, where we feel like we should. I think if we set a really strict budget to it, we'd have to make certain, like, yes, it would finish on time, whatever that means. Like, say if you wanted to finish within a year or 2 years, it's important to set a budget, but it means then you've got to make cost cuts in places that you necessarily wouldn't want to. And because we're wanting to keep the house,
it's not worth cutting.
It's not worth. We'd rather it take 3 years, 5 years, but be a really good house.
Because I'm the one that's building it, I'm also going to be the one that's looking after it and maintaining it. So if I skimp now, it's only going to come back and bite me in the future. So it makes sense to do it a bit slower, spend the money, but do it really well now. And then I don't have to worry about it again. Yeah.
Don't get us wrong as well. Like, along the way, we are finding ways to cut our costs. So just last week, we reconfigured the dining room vaulted roof so that we didn't have to use we avoided using a whole beam, didn't we? We cut out a whole beam to save some money.
Yeah, changed the structure slightly, which affects, basically we were going to have it completely vaulted. It would have been nearly a 4 meter ceiling, 3.5 meter ceiling. We've dropped we've dropped it. So there's now 2 big sections of vaulted and a flat, which saves us 1 structural beam at the top, or 2 structural beams, because this roof goes over the garage as well.
Yeah.
So it saves a big structural beam through the top. The 2 purlin, the other structures that are halfway up the roof, are exactly the same anyway. It also saves us a load of Celotex, expensive insulation, because it's really expensive to insulate a vaulted ceiling. It's a lot cheaper to insulate a flat ceiling because you can just use earth wall. So we saved a load of money on the beam and the
those kind
insulation
of choices. And we weren't bothered by that. Like, that wasn't a difficult choice to make. And if we really, really wanted the vaulted ceiling, we'd have just saved up. And it just would have taken a little bit longer because we did have time to save up. So they're the kind of choices that you're making. As far as when we get to the actual kitting out the house, like with furniture and stuff, it's going to be a lot of DIY, because by that point we're just gonna, like, they're things that you can change easily. We can add to those and update those as we like come into money again in like a decade.
Once we're both working again, it'll be fine.
So to get in, you'll probably see a lot more DIY stuff, but the actual structure, the stuff that's staying there, like the slate and the windows and the roof, exactly,
things like that, you can't change afterwards. You can't just add that once you've been back at work for a couple of months. You can go and buy a new sofa or a new table after doing a bit of work. You can't just
re-roof the house.
You can't just re-roof, or you can't just lay a full underfloor multi-zoned heating system through your house as an afterthought. So that's where we're spending the money now, and we'll hold off on spending the money on the.
And I'm pleased with that choice. I'm happy with the choices that we've made so far.
I think that's the right choice.
Yeah.
As far as we're concerned.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah Hodge asks, do you plan to still foster when the house is complete? So we used to be foster carers in our old house. We had 3 children like separately come to stay with us across the year, didn't we? Or across 2 years. And we've always dabbled with the idea of maybe using the 3 spare bedrooms that we'll have in this house to foster children again.
2. Hagen has 1 room.
Oh yeah, Hagen has 2 spare bedrooms. Sorry. And that's another, like we said at the beginning, like we've got so many ideas of things that we might do and might not do. We're quite enjoying just being us at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah,
but
again, a bit like question number 1, that changes every few days, every week.
We'll watch a certain program.
Oh yeah, go on, we'll do that.
We'll watch a program about like adoption or fostering, and we'll be like, oh yeah, that would be so nice. And then we'll watch a program the next day about surfing around the world or like whatever, and then we're like, oh yeah, we'll do that. So basically, we just don't know. We've got lots of ideas. We're still young, aren't we?
Yeah.
Young at heart.
That's it. So we can't give you a yes or a no to that one, unfortunately.
No. I'm sure at some point we will, like at some point in our lives together, there will be a point where we at least do respite care again, because we were really good at it and
enjoyed it.
It was really fulfilling, Trying to think something else. The Bert Hill Build, which is one of my favourite accounts to follow at the moment. They're the house that I was showing you yesterday, that gorgeous kitchen.
Oh yeah, we like your kitchen.
We love your kitchen.
We're stealing a couple of bits of design from that, actually.
How long have you been together?
Forever.
He doesn't know. Basically,
really, really long.
Did you hear the pause there? Forever. I'll get away with that one. No, since 2007. So what's that? 14 years.
Yeah.
14 years just gone. A long time, since we were 16. We met in college at school, and we were best friends for a little while, weren't we? A few months, part of the same friendship group, and we were inseparable. We've been inseparable ever since, haven't we?
Yep. Married for 6
Well
years.
done, Jim.
Yes.
Points for this
Points.
one.
Points make prizes.
Oh goodness me, there's so many good questions. What is the time? Okay, we've got enough time for a few more. Lou Nicholson asks, could you live in a caravan forever?
No.
It looks fab.
No.
No.
No, I wouldn't. The space, this actual square meterage, yes.
Yeah.
This specific caravan, not
No.
a chance.
Yeah.
Basically, this thing leaks like a sieve. So every time we've got a storm, but there's none of the floors are sealed. There's holes in all the floors.
Yeah.
The wind blows in through the windows. The walls move in the wind. I don't fit through the doorway. That's one of the things that winds me up the most. Is this doorway here to the hallway is fine. Every other doorway is like it's less than my shoulders, and then they've all got hooks on them. So you've got coats. So I can't walk straight through my house. I'm dodging and weaving just to walk through, and it absolutely does my head in.
Jim is usually like so calm and so placid, but when he puts the washing up away into the cupboard, he gets so cross. He gets so angry. We've actually got a rule that only I put the saucepans away in the cupboard now because it actually makes him really angry.
I see red straight away. So no, I would not live in this caravan forever because I know that I could build something so much better on the same space. It's just not designed for forever living. They're holiday places for a family of 4 to 6 to stay for a week. You don't have your full life's worth of stuff. We've got one full bedroom full of my tools. It's basically the back of my van. So we've lost a load of space in here from storage and workplace use. But if you were to just have this space as a home, nothing else, one bedroom, one bathroom,
it'd be
and
luxury.
then this open space, absolutely, this kind of space is fine.
So our caravan, just for reference, is 16 foot by 35. So
it's 35 by
it's a fair
12.
Oh, you're just out of the.
Sorry, 35 by 12. I think 12 is the biggest.
Yeah, okay.
Because the next one down's like 20.
Yeah, okay.
By
I think
by 10.
Talking about
12.
if we'd do anything differently, if we did this again, I think I would take the time. I would have taken the first summer to build ourselves a little wooden cabin, insulated cabin, like that we could then keep in the garden. It was pretty smaller than this, so it would take less of the like scaffolding space away. And it would be built for purpose for us. So everything in it would be like the exact storage we need, and everything would, there'd be no wasted space. And then we could keep it in the garden once the house is done as a summer house or a workshop or an office or something, if I was to do it again, because once the house is built, we can't get this caravan out again. There's not enough space to get it out, so we have to basically just knock it down, and that's fine because we paid barely anything for it. Look at him. We paid.
I had one last night, William.
We paid barely anything for it, and what we've saved in rent is like it's fine. But I think that would have been really good. We'd have been much more comfortable here. Now we know that it's going to take us 3 years to finish the build. I think we should have done that, really.
Get trolled by my brother-in-law.
He's saying that we need to have when's the last time we had a shower?
I look handsome because Jordan cut my hair
yesterday. I did!
Which I've then covered with a hat.
Yeah, look. I did a good job, I think. What do you reckon?
That'd do, wouldn't it? Doesn't look great on the screen, actually. Better in real life.
Okay, lots of people that follow us are wanting one. Lots of people. Stop.
Sorry. Blame Will.
I know. Lots of people that follow us are really interested in buying land one day and building a house.
I bet he'll lived in a 28 by 10 for 2 years.
Yeah, so they know.
Yeah, you know.
I think that's why I'm so inspired
by rather have
following their
Instagram
because they know.
Yeah, they're like, what are they, a couple of years, a year ahead, 2 years ahead?
No, I think they did it. They did it in the good time.
Oh, did they?
3 years, I think she said. I don't know. Nice. I can't
They'll tell us they're watching.
Yeah. Tell us, how long did it take? How long have we got left? Wandering Home said, well, other ones who like, they've got the Vario, love those. How did you find the process of getting land to build in Cornwall? And that question came up so much. How do you find the land in the first place?
Want me to answer it?
Yeah.
So Rightmove.
Yeah, we literally
estate agents. Basically, you can go and buy a bit of farmland. You could buy this much farmland for a couple of grand down here in Cornwall. But if you want to buy something that has the possibility of putting a house on it,
that has a definite possibility. So we bought it. It already had outline planning consent, which 2 years, he said.
2 years, still finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You've done well.
We're way behind it.
Yeah.
We're way behind you.
You could have lied.
Damn it. If you want something, so ours had outline planning consent, which means there was official documentation saying you can have a single dwelling on this plot, roughly this size footprint. Now that piece of paper on this piece of land turns out from, say, a 5 grand plot into 120 grand plot.
It's insane.
Yeah, but that's if you want the guarantee of being able to put a house. You could go and try and buy
any bit of field,
a few acres from a farmer for 10, 20 grand and try, and you might be lucky. You might get locked into a planning battle for 10 years.
Yeah.
And you might just outright get turned down and never get away with it. So if you want the guarantee, you have to pay pretty serious money. We actually got quite lucky, I think, for the amount of space we got. I know 120 grand's a lot.
It seems insane, doesn't it? Because my brother bought a house for that, like a lovely Victorian house. It does seem crazy amount of money for it. Was like a car park. It wasn't even a pretty meadow. It was a car park.
A gravel like stone chippings car park.
But what you're actually paying for, it was 10,000 for the actual land, and then 110,000 just for this piece of paper saying you can have a 3-bedroom house on this land.
And even after that, you're still not ready to build. After that, we then had to finish and finalize the planning application, which came with more searches, more stipulations, more documentation, input. Then luckily my dad was or is a retired building surveyor / architect. He used to do planning permission drawings and things like that. Without
and he's been an incredible help on this.
We'd have spent another however many multiple thousand getting to this stage. So like if you didn't have those contacts, it'd
be much more costly. It's not impossible though. I don't want to discourage anyone because it's an amazing thing to do.
No, it's amazing. You've just got to be realistic. It's not as easy as going, I'm going to buy a field and build a house in it.
Yeah.
It's like
in England anyway.
What was there? Are you getting on a year's worth of work before I started building?
Yeah, we bought it February 2019 and we started building in June.
We bought it in November, didn't we? Bought it pre-Christmas.
Oh, November 2019. 18 and then started June 2019. Yeah. And that's with all the help and knowledge that Jim's already got, you know.
So 7 months, not a year.
Yeah.
7 months from actual purchase, but there was obviously
it was also quite difficult to even buy the land in the first place. So even though it had all the permissions, the surveyors were, when buying it, so normally when you buy a house you have to get solicitors and surveyors as part of it, and then that process was really difficult. They were so much more picky with our land than you would be normally buying a house.
Yeah,
they were like testing the gas under the ground and they wanted samples of this, that and everything. So that was quite complex and it was quite overwhelming actually at the time. It was quite overwhelming and we didn't I mean we got through it. It
was all very new for us, and it was new for my dad as well, because although he's done lots of actual doing drawings and things like that are well within his skill set. He's only ever done extensions, and he used to do big commercial
and so have
stuff.
you. Yeah, you've just only done extensions.
Training, and I've only done extensions. So actually going for a new plot, starting from scratch, well, from the planning perspective, it was very different. From a construction point, it's a hell of a lot easier to build a house than it is to build an extension.
Yeah, I don't want to put people off, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that, like, I was talking to Lara, who we met at Cudva last year, and she really wants to build her own house. I know a lot of you do, and I don't want to discourage you, because it is a really amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it. It's an amazing process, and it's totally doable. And there are mortgages out there. There are mortgages to build, to help you build, and you get installments throughout the process. So there are definitely ways of doing it. And there are lots of different ways of coming across land as well. But a really good way of starting is just by looking at Rightmove and Zoopla, is it? There's like all those estate agent apps,
everything
basically
ends up on Rightmove.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go on one of the other websites like a day before. Even the ones that we found that we're going through auction were all on Rightmove as
it's
an
a really good place to
advertisement
start.
first.
And it's a really good place, even if you're not ready to buy yet, just to keep an eye out and save your searches on it and see what comes up.
So you've got a bank of what's worth what.
Yeah.
So
just
when
got an
one
idea.
comes up that you do like the look of, you know, if you're looking in, if it's pitched in the right like ballpark financially. If you've got a whole load to look back on and go, oh, this one was similar for this much, this one's similar for this much. If yours comes up 20 grand less than those and you like the look of it, sounds great. If it's 40 grand more, you can probably knock them down a bit and question it. So it's good to have that that list.
And somebody asked, I can't remember where it is now, but somebody asked, like, why Cornwall? Have you like, did you used to grow up here? Like, what's the deal with Cornwall? And then we've always liked, haven't we? We used to be part of Scouts as teenagers, and we used to come on holidays together, and they're really precious memories to us. And we always loved it, and we always said one day we'll live here, didn't we? Like, as our young 16-year-old selves, like, oh, one day we'll live here, just because it's so lovely down here. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Especially when you come on holiday and you've got all the memories and all your friends around you. It was just great fun. And then that stayed with us through our 20s, all through traveling around Canada and buying our first house. We were still saying, oh yeah, one day we'll live there. One day we'll live in Cornwall. And then we came here. We hadn't been here in about 6 years, and we kind of just put that to the back burner. And we're talking about, I know we had a house by then, and we were kind of settling down, weren't we? And then we visited my mum. My mum stayed in Falmouth for a month, and we visited her for a week in the summer. And that was in the August. And on the drive home, I think it was even before the drive home, we were saying, yeah, we need to move here. We need to do it. If we're going to do it, we need to do it now. We both worked for ourselves at that point. So for the first time in our adult lives, we could actually move and it not make too much difference to our income and like livelihood. And we thought, yeah, we've just got to do it, why not? And so that was in the August, and then by the September, our house was up for sale. We'd found this plot of land, and we'd been to see it twice, and we put in an offer, and it was accepted. So we're saying, like, take your time, look at Rightmove. Actually, we didn't. We just we found 5 plots that we liked the look of. We came down one weekend with Jim's dad and my mum, I think.
Yeah.
And we had a look at them all. We chose this one because it was the flattest.
None of the others are really suited.
Yeah, it was the flattest. It was a good size, and it was right near a beautiful beach, which we still love.
Actually, there was one other that we really liked. I liked that other one, but it was 20 grand more.
And it was kind of on a hill,
slightly bigger, a bit of a slope. Access was a little bit harder. And
this
20 grand more.
So this one just seemed more simple, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it has been, like, the process has been good. The house that was already designed for this plot of land was pretty good. It was near to what we wanted anyway. So yeah, we went for it and it was accepted, wasn't it? Which was really exciting. And then we now we're here. It seems like that was ages ago, and yet so much has happened. Like, so much has happened since then. But yeah, it can be really, really simple.
The start of the question was why Cornwall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I could surf.
Oh yeah,
That's most of the reason I wanted to
that
come.
is why. That's why we chose here, because obviously on the west coast.
I've been a board sports nut forever. Used to skate a lot, and then obviously did the snowboarding. Skateboarding I gave up because I kept breaking all of my limbs. Snowboarding you can't do in the UK. We wanted to be back in the UK. Surfing was the next best thing, and actually it's now I'd choose that over any of the other two anyway.
Yeah, you do actually.
I love it. So actually to be near the sea so that I could surf was.
We used to live for our ski and snowboard holidays, didn't we? And actually we haven't been in 2 years, and we would love to go. And lots of that is COVID related.
This year it is, yeah.
But that need to go isn't there, because we have the sea, which is really cool. And that's the first time. He's still down here, by the way.
He heard the dog. That's why he's poked his head up.
And yeah, that's the first time it's been like that.
Paco.
I've just seen another good question by Chloe in Cornwall, one of our other friends that we've met down here.
Rob.
Yeah. How do you think you guys will adjust to such a big house after small life living? And it is a big house.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems bigger and bigger every time you work on it, actually. I'm actually really overwhelmed, if I'm honest. I'm
really looking forward to being able to walk through a doorway.
Yeah, and put your saucepans away.
I can have one saucepan in each cupboard the size of that bloody kitchen.
Yeah, you could. No, it's massive, and I am really overwhelmed by how big it feels. And Jim keeps telling me that when the plasterboard goes up and when the paint goes on, it's going to seem even bigger. And I am really overwhelmed by it, because all I can think back to and all I can compare it to is back in Essex, how overwhelmed I felt looking after the house and paying the mortgage and the pressure that brought on. The idea of going back to that, now I know a different way of living, is quite overwhelming. But this time I know that we will then have the freedom to make a judgment if I'm getting too stressed out by it, or if it's not working for us. We can make a change and we'll do that, and it'll be fine. So I need to keep reminding myself that. But honestly, I am quite overwhelmed by the idea of such a large house, because I don't want to go back to how things were. Now I know there's different. And I will miss the caravan for the lifestyle it's given us. I won't miss the caravan, but I'll miss not having a mortgage and having the flexibility to be picky with work I take on. And I mean, that is just a complete luxury, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. Ted.
Isolated.
Yes. Says, what will your next project be after the house is done? You guys can't sit still for long, I bet. And other questions were, what are you going, are you going to stop YouTube when the house is done? What are you going to film when the house is done? That kind of question came up a lot.
That we won't be stopping YouTube when the house is done, because we didn't start it for the house.
No.
We were doing lots of video
on a different channel, yeah.
Anyway, so no, we won't stop that.
It's my hobby. I love it.
It'll just be following us doing whatever we're doing.
Yeah, hopefully traveling around Cornwall a little bit and actually using our van. We haven't been able to do stuff like that. Yeah, and doing up the van. Actually, yeah, I'm really excited to do up the van. And we've also got a 1971 bay window camper as well, back in Essex. So I'd love the time and the money to spend on doing that up, and then we can travel around Cornwall in those and spend our summers in that. That'll be really cool. And also, don't get me wrong, we've got another 2 years at least of house stuff, so the house YouTube videos are not going to stop anytime soon.
If anything, they'll start getting more, because
they will.
Soon Jordan will be able to do more things, and she's much better at videoing.
I remember to do it.
You remember? Well, it's your passion.
Yeah.
It's not my passion, so it's not something that comes to mind.
You don't think about.
I just want to go, and I enjoy building.
So many
times.
And I
just want to get on with building.
So many times I come home from work, and Jim's done he's put all the windows in, or he's started putting the internal walls in, and I came home and I was like, Jim, this is a huge step for our house. Like, we have got internal walls now. Did you film it? Oh no, I forgot. I'm like,
too busy working.
Because I want to show you, but also I want to remember, like, I want to remember it.
Yeah, I know.
But no, that's fine. But yeah, we've got at least 2 years of, a year of internal stuff for the house, and then like all of the furniture and decor and interior and arts and crafts and DIYs inside. And then the next year will all be about our garden and making a nice outdoor area for us, and hopefully adventuring outside of this little street that we've been kept on for the last year.
I love my street.
Yeah, Jim loves his street. So yeah, they're not going to stop anytime
other plans
soon.
The plans for 2021 was the main question. Apart from building a house, not much. Build the house and go to the beach.
Yeah, that is what we do, though. We've
got to prioritise the house this year.
We film what we do, and what we're doing right now is going to the beach when we can, and building when we can. Like, that is so YouTube will just show what we are doing. So that will just look like what we're doing. And when we sail around the world.
So it said you need a mortgage just to run an air-cooled van.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true, mate. It's true.
That is true. Oh dear. I wish that wasn't so true. Okay, maybe one last one. There's so many good ones. I'll save this and I'll reply. We'll do it.
We'll do another one next time we don't have a Sunday video.
Wait, they're not supposed to know. No, they're not supposed to know. Yeah, we'll do another one when we don't have another Sunday video. Things are slowing down now anyway, because Jim's doing another roof over the top of the garage and dining room. What we were talking about earlier, the design that we've changed. And there's only so many roof videos I can make interesting. I don't know.
Oh, that's it. I'm going back to block laying.
Maybe you're interested, but oh my god, it would do my head in if I was to have to edit another block laying time lapse and roofing time lapse. I don't know. Maybe that's what you want to see. Maybe Jim can edit it, but I really don't want to. So we'll probably have a few more of these coming up whilst Jim's doing that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, last one.
Go on then.
What were your first impressions of each other and how have they changed? So we were 16. We were a little bit different from now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me describe Jim.
I can't remember.
Jim had, my dad said he looked like a Swedish porn star because he had silky, highlighted. You've seen it. It's on our IGTV. Watch it. There's like a silky bob with highlights.
I was a character.
Black eyeliner, and you've got long eyelashes, so it looked like you had mascara on, but you didn't. You just had eyeliner. Red and pink nail varnish. Pink and black, like loads and loads of like bands and bracelets. A belt round, like way past your bum. Like, and really low baggy skater shorts or trousers. Huge boat skate shoes. Always a hat. Rarely a beanie, like a proper like trilby hat. Usually a cravat of some sort, or like a
green
shoelace.
Velvet jacket.
A shoelace wrapped around like.
No, I never wore shoelaces at the
Oh no, there was a shoelace under your arm or something maybe.
As a belt.
Yeah, I mean, it was a look. It was a look.
Yeah, new metal.
Yeah. So
proper thousands emo.
Yeah,
skater.
Velvet jacket, tartan studded things. You were really cool. We were actually watching. What were we watching? Drag Race yesterday.
No. Next in Fashion. You were watching yesterday.
But Jim said, I actually love what RuPaul wears. You know, like those really snazzy suits, and that is Jim. Like, you wouldn't think it now because he's so like normal in your like skater boy surf dude clothing, but you actually are quite out there with what you like. You just don't really get a chance to wear it, do you? When you're
no, suits don't really work very well on a building site.
Maybe you'll be a fashion designer next after the build.
Yeah.
Or a drag queen.
I don't think drag's the one for me.
I don't know. You don't know.
A crazy suits one.
I wouldn't care,
I'm not saying that you would
out there, I wouldn't
and
care.
I wouldn't care if you did care. I don't. It's not for me. That one.
Okay. What was your first impression of me? A new girl coming to the school.
I honestly...
You can't remember?
I barely remember what I did last week.
So romantic, isn't he? At least he's honest. At least I know where I stand. That's why we've lasted the test of time, Jim.
I couldn't tell you what my first impression was.
There you go. That's the answer.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I don't care. It's lucky I don't care, isn't it? Right. I'll leave the other hundreds of questions on that note.
We'll go through and find some other good ones and do them another day.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there he wants to do it now. Changed your tune, haven't you?
Didn't want to do it. I said we're doing it because we don't have
we're fighting now. Let's go.
Hello, puppy.
And also, we're going to be on the computer for loads today because we've got Mother's Day Zoom calls to do, haven't we? And I'm sure you do too.
Stu's just turned up.
So send love to your mothers. Thank you for joining us on this, and just thank you for following. It just blows our mind that people bother to watch every week.
Thank you.
I don't think we deserve it, but it's really cool that you turn up every week.
Hagen loves it.
And and I know this is the real reason why you're here, isn't it? So Hagen says thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, is it hard? Is it hard being you?
Bye, guys. Have a really good day. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye.